Hey, everybody. We're back. It is Best Iowa Cleaning Podcast with Brandon.
And Ryan.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. Doing good. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us back again, guys. Ryan and I we were just talking about a few things before we jumped on here. And I don't know, I have to reminisce about our interview yesterday. It just went really good.
It did. It blew my socks off, honestly.
Yes, yeah, totally. We got some really good feedback too from the applicant or the person that came in, and yeah, it was really good. Very much a core value match for us, and you want to talk a little bit more about what was said and what went down?
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, our interviews usually they range a lot, and depending on how many people show up, because we always do group interviews every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so this was a group interview of one yesterday.
Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes
Yeah.
you get 3 or 4, and sometimes it's 1. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not usually a ghost town in here, but it's usually at least 2 or 3 people or more.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
pretty exciting stuff. But
It is.
yesterday I was surprised because out of the group of applicants, we have to be very choosy on who we're bringing on the team because we want to keep our team awesome. So
Yeah.
with that said, we had the one person come in, and she was awesome. So
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
Yeah.
And yeah, do you think it'd be okay if I shared a little about her? I won't share her name or any details.
That'd be
specific,
fine.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I think what I was impressed was she worked her way up in the hotel industry
Yeah.
and worked her way up to like the area marketing manager. I'm pretty sure. That's
Yep.
what she was. So that was impressive. So I mean, we've got some people coming in here who have kind of made it in a lot of ways, which is pretty
A
cool.
wide variety of skills for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Because that would be a hard job.
Would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's overseeing several different hotels for the marketing management side of it.
Yeah.
And she just told us lots of stories about how she keeps people happy, and it's like that's really what we're all about is improving
Yes, it is.
people's lives. So
Yeah.
giving them a life-changing clean.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right. From a
from a
wholehearted
whole
team.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And I think she had some really good feedback, Ryan, about just the hiring ad in general.
yeah,
And that's kind of what I wanted to focus on because there's so many. I just talked to someone recently that was struggling with, finding someone part-time in this, doing a few tasks that basically the owner and some of the team members just didn't want to do or didn't have time to do, something to shovel off the plate of them and, put on someone that could focus only on those few things.
Right.
So, but it came up that, it's like, well, let's advertise in the paper. Let's keep it pretty minimal. And it's not a budget thing. It's more, I think people don't know how to really advertise.
it could be.
Yeah.
Well, when we're going through it and we see just similar ads, there's so many out there right now that you just kind of get lost in a sea of
There's
more
a
of the
ton.
same.
Yeah.
And it's hard to set yourself apart, so you kind of have to do things differently in order to really stand out and
Yeah.
get some attention. It's not all just about what it really has to be is you have to get the attention in the right way and still be true to yourselves and to them.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest part. You can't make this big bold ad that's like they come in and realize it's not you. That's not going to work.
It won't. No, it's true. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I certainly didn't come from a cleaning background.
No.
Well, first of all, a guy in general. So it just, general cleanliness is, the details is
like,
just, the detail is just not there. But no, now it is. But
Yeah.
at the time, I worked lawn mowing, fast food, Dairy Queen, Fairway, so grocery chain, Frito-Lay for sales and distribution, excuse me. But yeah, just a few of those locations. And I would have never thought I'd be running a cleaning company. And I mean, what about you? Did you have any cleaning jobs, growing up, or was this just something that you and Angela got into?
Yeah, so yeah, you probably recall how we started.
Yeah, I do. Through a shady ad.
Yeah.
Things haven't improved that much since then.
No,
They've
really
improved
enjoy
greatly.
that. But no, we went in and still Brandon was being himself, and so got to know him, and it's really what drew us in. It's like you have an awesome team, awesome people, awesome leadership. That's what it's all about, right from the start. So, no, I didn't have any other cleaning background per se. Like I would do some car detailing for my dad and my grandpa.
Okay.
Just helping out in that way, and
Yeah.
it got me really laser focused, like really focused in on small details until it's like really clean. Because I would ask my dad if it's good, and he would go, "Does it look good to you?" It's like he would put it back.
It's a
on
good
my,
dad question.
he
Yeah.
would put it back on my plate.
Yeah.
And I do that to my kids now too. It's like, does it look clean? And I kind of point out a few things, and not being rude or anything. It's just like getting them to pay attention to the details. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. So, anyways, too, I guess what I was trying to, the point I was trying to make with that whole thing was, I really don't look for people that have cleaning experience or a cleaning background.
Exactly.
Because what you tend to get is people shifting from one company to the next, and that's not really going to help your team culture or anything. You really, I'd like to pull people from the construction field, maybe someone that's in nursing or dental assisting or something that wants a part-time thing on the weekends and during the week, and that's a perfect, as long as they fit the core values, that's a perfect match.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Especially service industries. Like
Yes, I agree.
Other areas of service industries that people helping out just because,
Yes.
given wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You get a lot of that in the service industries. So it's
Yeah.
I love hiring people from that field.
I still think, Ryan, there is a lot of companies that are in the service industry that still don't pay probably what they need to or should, because maybe they just can't, if it's a big chain or something and they have their everything set. But people are still loyal in those places. It's crazy.
I know.
So everyone has their reason for staying on at a place, and that's the type of thing we're looking for, is that loyalty.
Yep. So. And it's almost always loyalty to the teammates, to the to a great boss, things along those lines, where you're loyal to the people, not necessarily to the company.
You're right.
And I think that's great. You've got this awesome team that's built up. You're loyal to them, and that's what brings in more awesome people like that.
It really, it really reminds me of Jason. Some of the stories he's told, and just that his team or his superior, his boss is just he would never be able to leave because he's just so connected to that person. So they're really. I mean, what you're saying is so true.
Yeah,
it happens all the time. So,
definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of I guess a blessing in disguise, where we're just, okay, are we doing it right? Is this working? And I think, like everybody, one thing I've been thinking about, and one thing we're going to try to tweak a little bit is, we have a lot of people sign up in the calendar that are going to come in here to our office for the interview on Tuesday at 5:30. If anybody just wants to drop in just to say hi, please do. But they are in the calendar and they don't show. So our conversion rate from the calendar into the office is not, it's still 30% from who signs up. It's
better
normal.
Than the 20% average that
Correct.
we're told you're going to probably get. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I don't know. We're going to work on tweaking that a little bit. Maybe doing a coffee shop in a bigger city to draw in a little bit more.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure enjoying the fact that when people know they have to drive in, you're really weeding out potentially 15 people down to about 3 or 4.
It's true.
Yep. And they know what they read the ad, they understand what it is.
Exactly.
So
if you're willing to give wholeheartedly and help people out, it's usually not a big deal for those individuals to do a drive.
Right.
That's kind of how it is.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
But I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of new people every single Tuesday.
Yeah, I am too. So Ryan, as we do this, one big thing on my mind as we've moved forward with the podcast is, how can we give the viewer, our Night Shift family and friends and team, how can we give them some valuable pieces of information that we've learned, maybe through our mistakes, so they can, hopefully that all of you, if you decide to go into business for yourself, you have some valuable things that you can take away from this and run with it. What do you think?
Oh, there's a lot of good things, but there's so much good business coaching that we've received that I just want to be able to pass on.
Yeah.
to the next person, you know. So
Yep.
uh,
I guess we don't know it all.
No.
That's fairly obvious.
yeah, that's for sure. You get
Yeah.
one of the biggest things though is crappy version 1.0. We
Yes.
say that all the time. Crappy version 1.0.
Yep.
It's kind of what this was, and now we're getting a lot better at it. And
Yeah.
and I love doing the podcast. So
I do too.
Um,
And what Ryan means, break that down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll still leave it to you, but what do you think? What does that
thank you.
mean?
So yeah, it's basically not having decision paralysis. Like if you're debating on what to do on something and you're like, I just don't know how to do it the very best way, don't worry about it. Just jump in and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so not how I was at all. Not how I was at all. I was always delayed in starting things and worried about failure. You just can't be. You have to make so many fast decisions. It doesn't mean, do it recklessly. It just means do it a little bit quicker and make sure to get something done so that way you can improve upon that as you move forward. But
It's all momentum, but you're right.
it is. It's
Yeah.
momentum.
Very
Yeah.
good. That I could not have said it better myself. That's great. Crappy version 1.0, and then you got version 2.0, 3.0, and so on.
Exactly.
So, yeah, you don't know what to test unless you put something out there to test.
That's right.
So, very good. And yeah, along with Ryan's information about crappy version 1.0, something I would say that has been very valuable, and something I'm horrible at is know your numbers.
Okay.
And so just as, obviously, I think it's fairly obvious. You always know what you're generating on your revenue per year. But what's your overhead? Where is your profit at with all these businesses? And then we have inflation, supplies and cost of things are going up. It's delayed. So there's maybe some quicker decisions that you're making which do cost a little bit more because you can no longer do it the same way that you were doing it before. So
Right.
I think knowing your numbers and making sure that your profit is in line, your overhead's in line. And if it's not, reach out to your customers and have that conversation just to tell them that we have to go up.
Yep. This
You
is
know,
where
and-
we need to be. And
In order for us to serve you the very best way that we know how and that is possible, we have to go up.
yes. Yeah. And that's the biggest part of it is like we truly can't serve the customers the way we need to if the numbers aren't right.
That's correct.
And
You're
it's
right.
been
Yeah.
so eye-opening because you wouldn't ever think that's, well, I shouldn't say you wouldn't ever think that, but I didn't realize how impactful that was until I saw the whole picture come together.
There's something to be said about asking what the budget is when you go into a business for, and when they outsource cleaning or mowing or whatever. Knowing what their budget is and getting to that paying conversation is really important. But beyond that, though, you have to fit that in to what your margins are. So
Right.
all those things are very important. And we just have one of our employees pulling up, ready to go on the job. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. What else? If we were to give the people two more valuable pieces of information that we've picked up recently, what would something else be? Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Oh yeah, no, there's been so much going on, and it's, I think going back to our current team right now and the way things are set up, for coverages, you want to have coverages lined up where it's like backup options A through, go way deep for that, A through
Yeah.
G or something.
Yeah.
So that way the owners and the managers who need to be steering the ship in the right direction aren't the ones jumping in, covering and doing 80, 90 hours a week and just working themselves to the bone, because that's going to result in poor leadership in the end.
Yeah.
It's not going to allow you to be a good leader. And we're going to bless our team with more opportunities if we have those backup options in place.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
That could be said for any business, really. I know some places are structured a little bit differently, but just knowing that you have that peace of mind to be able to have that level of coverage,
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference.
It totally does. So to get more into detail with what Ryan is saying, because I want to give you guys the most value that I possibly can, and so let's call it A through D.
Yeah.
So option A would be there's two people cleaning one building. One is out. That one person you would ask to cover the whole building.
Right.
not for any extra price, just, because
Yeah.
they may want the extra hours, if, or option B, if you know of someone on your team that has just they've been asking, like, yeah, we love the job, we want more hours. You've gotten to a place where they're doing a great job, they're consistent, showing up early, following through the checklist every night, and that person that's hustling, you're like, okay, let's get you in here. You're now our coverage person if you can.
Yep.
You could probably find multiple people like that.
Exactly.
And then that would be B. So C would be another team of 2 or 3 that are close in the area, and having them come in and help out cover. And you could offer them a higher wage for that. And then option D would be, before you have an operations manager do coverage, go to an outsourcing company, like a temp service, one of those, and get some temporary help to line up some coverage if there's someone that's gone short term or long term, until you can get it hired.
Right.
But and then way down the list, let's say you couldn't get anyone. No one goes in, and this never happened. It has never happened to us, but let's say no one can get there. This would be option Z. You would call that business the next day, tell them that we won't be there for 2 days. Here's what happened. Your next 2 or 3 cleanings are free, and then reset and get someone in there after that.
Right.
So, but the last resort would be to have a manager go in and actually clean the location.
Exactly.
And I understand the reasoning behind, well, I don't know how I feel about that. Shouldn't you be taking care of the customer? You are taking care of the customer.
Right.
You can't let all the other balls drop in the business just to cover buildings. So
Yeah.
you have to get to the point where you're working on the business and not in it.
And I think what option Z would look like is like a snowstorm kind of a night.
Yes, exactly.
Where we had that a couple of years
Yes,
ago.
yeah.
I mean, I went from location to location to location where people were saying they couldn't go out, but I was out in it. So
Yeah.
and
Well,
it just
yeah. Some of that we need to
happen.
take our own advice on, but I think we've grown
Right.
since that time.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly. Oh, I know we have.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know that. Also, with option Z, we would do some extra things for the customer just to keep them
Absolutely.
extra happy, because it's like they would know it's an absolute last resort, but
Yeah.
that we would never want to do, but would have to in that situation or whatever. But
If we're doing what's best for our team, we're obviously going to put them first. And if it's a bad storm, if it's ice, if they have a long way to drive, we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that they're safe,
yep,
even if that means missing a night of cleaning.
Yep.
So, yep. But yeah, that was great, Ryan. Thank you for that rundown. And
You bet. Thanks
Yeah.
for adding to it. That was great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Boy, we could go on and on, but I feel like this is a good stopping point, a good place to take in what we're saying. And I don't know if you guys are looking for some encouragement or just want to talk about what we did with our hiring ad. This is not me. It's not Ryan. We had a coaching company work with us on hiring because we knew that there's no option to do what we had. A few employees that just it really was a struggle there for a while.
Yep.
And I never want to do that again, ever.
Right.
I don't want that type of person working for our company. And so it was not compromised. And so then the hiring process, we had a problem because the hiring process really slowed down because we didn't know how to find those like-minded people.
Yep.
And so that's why we signed up for this. And I feel like we've gotten some really, we're probably still in crappy version 1.0 with the hiring funnel, but it has dramatically changed who we are and how we operate. So it's been a good thing.
I'd say at least crappy version 1.5, but
Yeah, we have continued to work on it. So
yeah.
yeah. Well, thanks for joining me, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you.
And I really appreciate just the positivity and the feedback that we got from our interview yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I want to wish all of you guys the best. Like always, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to thumbs up and heart the video on Facebook and on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, and we need some more subscribers. We are getting up there. I think we're at 11 or 12 now.
Yeah.
My mom and my aunt.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just joking. I don't know who the last two were, but pretty cool.
My kids use YouTube now, so no, I'm just kidding. No, if they did, we wouldn't have more subscribers.
Well, at least we can joke around and be honest with you guys. So
Yeah.
we like having fun. But hey, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.